Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena, I don't know what's going on. This is like the 7th intro I've recorded today. Something like that. I'm losing it. It's all blurring together. These are the things I do to get the batch recordings ready for the trip to Las Vegas so that you, the audience, the viewer, can be satiated with that daily sustenance, that daily inspiration, motivation, salt content, whatever you use it for, the daily MTG video, the streak as it goes on. So I hope you're enjoying it. On the downside, I did have to crank these out all at once, so I basically did a lot of variations of the same thing. So you've seen like this blue-white Lear deck from a few days ago. Well, it was recorded just like yesterday for me, but you saw it a few days ago. This is the black-blue version of a very similar deck, using the dream team of Lear and Jacob Hawken, the Inspector, and the Hullbreaker Horror together. But now we're using a black shell instead of a white one. This allows for a few key changes. Number one, Doomscar becomes Shadow's Verdict. Not the greatest change. If we're being real, Shadow's Verdict is much easier for Elite Spellbinder to tax, and that is a big problem. Same for Thalia. It's really, like, you can get a Doomscar under those taxes. Like, all you have to do is foretell it on 2, and then play it on 4, and you got around the Thalia, and you got around the Elite Spellbinder. The Redain can be a problem too. Shadow's Verdict doesn't have that same thing. What Shadow's Verdict does have going for it is that exile effect. Exiling Old Growth Troll is really good. In fact, Shadow's Verdict hits everything from the typical mono green list because all of their 4 and 5 drops are usually tokens in Asika's Chariot Cats and the Tree Folk from Ren and 7. So Shadow's Verdict does usually get their whole board, minus the Chariot itself, which you'll have to find another solution to. But getting the Troll is a pretty big deal. The Verdict is also really good against the black Blood Money decks. Getting to exile their Shambling Ghast and getting to exile their Eye Twitches is a pretty big deal. You also get their Fell Stingers, and just cleaning out that graveyard so they can't get back most of that stuff easily is very, very nice. So Verdict has some ups, has some downs, but the big one is Infernal Grasp, and I've got 4 copies in this deck. Infernal Grasp is becoming a pretty key card for combating Hullbreaker Horror. This card is so hard to eliminate, but if the opponent slams it with 7 mana on your end step, one of the things that you can do is use cards that just destroy target creature, like Infernal Grasp and Aggro Mauling, to straight up kill the thing. And maybe they have like a Fading Hope or a Consider to try to bounce it, so you use a second one, or you counter that with a Jwari Disruption. But basically, you'll probably have to line up a way to kill the horror with one of these spells and kill whatever the thing is that's the follow-up that would save the horror. That's what it takes to kill this card. It's so hard to kill that, much like Alrund's Epiphany is this cap on the meta, whereas if there's too much mana, the Epiphanies just start happening, so you have to play aggro that gets under it, or you have to have the game locked up by the time you get to that point. Hullbreaker Horror is doing that again, but I think it's even more difficult to interact with than even Epiphany, because if it goes later into the game, it's like it comes with its own galvanic iteration. It doesn't copy itself, but it keeps bouncing itself so that the opponent can't actually get rid of it. What a card. What a card. But Infernal Grasp and Aggro Mauling give you some tools. So that's why they're in the deck. The rest of the deck is pretty much the kind of thing you've seen before. Instead of using cards like Behold the Multiverse for card draw, we're using Consider because we can use Lear to cast them twice. And Consider combines with the Hullbreaker Horror to bounce spells and permanents at a very cheap rate, whereas Behold the Multiverse can sometimes be a bit expensive for that. Though you do miss Behold quite a bit when you're running Jacob Hawken and you exile like a Consider. You don't feel like you got that much value from the card. Celestis also sneaks back into the deck. This deck needed a little ramp. The Izzet Kraken shell has treasures. This deck does not have treasures, so we brought in the Day-Night Legendary Artifact. My favorite thing about the deck is when we can combine Lear, Disciple of the Drowned, and Shadow's Verdict against aggro decks. In blue-white, you have to set up weird scenarios where you bounce your own Lear with your Doomscar cast out of the graveyard on the stack, or you just blow up your Lear. And it's not smooth, but Lear plus Verdict is smooth. If you untap with a Lear and then just get to Verdict the opponent, it is so brutal. They can't play into the board. They can't do anything. It's just a lock. So I really love Shadow's Verdict plus Lear. What you'll see You're going to see a lot of the just kind of fun play around with kill your stuff, play Hullbreaker Horror, play Leer. That is a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. But you're also going to see Mono White really pull the salt out of me. And, you know, Mono White, it used to be like, oh, cute. They're playing Mono White, guys. They're trying to make Mono White a thing. That's adorable. They're just spamming all these little creatures. And anything that kills these little creatures, they're dead. Haha, easy. You know, Mono White. Mono White used to not be very good. Or it used to be super one-dimensional. Now, the taxing effect of just not letting you cast your spells, it's like counter spells, but in creature form. And everybody complains about counterspells. Oh, you're stopping me from playing the game. Oh, yeah, I don't get to play the game. Look, if you play Thalia and Redain and Elite Spellbinder, I don't get to play the game either. You're playing the same game I am. Yours just come with bodies. So I'm allowed to be just as salty with Mono White as Mono White gets with me. That's just a fact. And that's the way it should be. Because if Mono White wants to be respected in the salt mine that is MTG Arena, you gotta fight dirty. And they're certainly doing that right now. So yeah, we're gonna get a little salty at Mono White in this one. But that's okay. A Kraken comes from salt water. It's the natural habitat. Let's dive in. Let the salty nonsense begin. Blur punks. You're going down, Mono Red Avatar. Celestis, Fading Hope. It's a good amount of stall, not a lot of cards. Top of our deck will have to be friendly. We have a friendly deck. It's known. Uh-oh. I guess we're trying to go right to that Shadow's Verdict, huh? So we bounce their 2-drop, we disrupt their 3-drop, we play Celestis, maybe have to bounce something to be alive, then Verdict, and we hope that they don't have Chariot. No attack. Cool. I like that. We take those. We take those. Mythic battle, by the way. No, they remembered to attack this time. Well. Out! Out, I say. Celestis. We're a land from Verdicts, but please no Chariots. Cool. That's a lot of class. Class is in session. Decline. I'm taking it. I might have to play it as a land, though. Oh, I gotta take so much damage now. All right, gain 1, nighttime draw. What do we discard? What do we discard? I think the Fading Hope's the worst. Of course, 2 Fading Hopes can really put off these tokens, so we take less damage. But our plan is to Verdict and then Verdict some more. Yeah. Against green, you really want to find Leer, but Hullbreacher Horror is just as devastating. Yep, they're leveling. God, they're leveling, guys. Where did they put that counter? On the pack leader. It's like they know about Fading Hope. I did throw one in my graveyard. They've got to assume we have another when you see a play like that. Oh yeah, bring him out. Bin it. Okay. Come on, deck. Come on, deck. Cough up those Leers. Cough up those Hullbreacher Horrors. Before we get run over. We do have the Hall. The Hall's a really good blocker against green. Our opponent level 3s and passes. Okay. We're doing it. We're doing it, chat. We're doing it. Wait, there's no chat. It's YouTube. Why do I still do that? I've been watching too much streaming. All right, double triggers. You gotta love the Celestis. All right, I think... I mean, Shadow's Verdict kills everything in their deck. Like, everything. Still, I don't need this many. And we can cast it with Leer on the field, too. So we're getting into defend Leer and win game mode. They found level 2 and level 3. Dude, they're flooding. They are getting the flood treatment. Let's flip that day-night cycle. Into the bin with you. You never know, we might need the Fateful Absence, so... Or Fading Hope, rather. So let's leave the mana up for it. And then we want to save a Consider to go with the Hullbreaker Horror, because that's awesome. Alright. They did draw a card they needed. Probably too late for them. Still a scary card. I think we want to play the Horror. So let's just get rid of these cats once and for all. Got enough of those. I actually just want some more land to be able to bounce more things with the Horror. There, that's good enough. Yeah. I mean, they have a hard time beating this card as it is. You can go, little guy. We don't need you this time, Inspector. We've already solved the mystery. It was the Kraken. The Kraken and the drowned disciple person. Or disciple of the drowned? How does that all work, actually? Doesn't matter. Power up the hall, swing in, finish them. Top 100. We're working on it, baby. Need probably 2 more wins. So let's hope that Consider helps us find black mana and that the Inspector sticks around. Could definitely be a good enough hand. I mean, I know what I want. I just want some black mana, but make them think. Gates. In that case, I don't have to be too fast. Let's just keep this hall. Blue-white control. Let's go. Best card against them. The Inspector. We got a Reader. We got a Deep Reader. And an Absence. Well, I'll take my card. It is too bad to lose the card that way. Maybe I'm supposed to play Field of Ruin there and blow up their Field of Ruin. Our hand isn't good against them other than the Inspector, so we're in trouble. Uh-oh. All land all of a sudden? Oh, they do go for the Mending. All right. Get that dead. Protect our Hall, because we might be doing Hall Beatdown. We might be given the Hall Beatdown in this game. I don't know if we have much else to offer. Of course, if we draw the Horror, everything's good, but we don't have that much card draw in the deck. We're anti-aggro. Opponents on mono board wipes. It's really tempting to slam a Leer there, but then they can just sweep it with a Doomscar. Come on. Okay, here's Leer. Just eats a counterspell, probably. Or a Divide. Okay. Unfortunately, they get Teachings. That's really good for them. But we did get one of their Divides out of the way if we do find a Hullbreaker Horror. They're thinking really hard. Let's give them the business. Discarding Memory Deluge. No Field of Ruin yet. That sucked. Ooh, we get a top 100 player. All right, we need these points. We need these points. We're on the play. Cool. All right, we have Jacob against Izzet. Can be good. Can be very good. Let's see if they have the answer ready. How'd I know it was Izzet? Because these people are predictable. Everybody in the top, like, 1,000 is Izzet. Everyone. It's the only deck. One deck format. Care to try again? And again. It's a heck of a dance, right? Okay. What a master. Let's see if they're ready for Lear as well. They are poetry in motion, aren't they? Just 100% right answers. That's what it takes. That's what it takes to be a gamer on this level. That's okay, we drew the land. We'll annoy them a little, but then they're just gonna Epiphany us. It's a very expensive bounce spell. So we need to draw something that stops Epiphany, and we can't seem to do it. It's very sad. Like, we haven't drawn any Considers. We haven't drawn any Divide by Zeros. We haven't drawn any Jwari Disruption. We haven't drawn Hullbreaker Horror. The cards we need are not here. Uh-oh, setting up the combo. Clutch. Here we go. Do it. Galvanic Iteration, Alrund's Epiphany. Do it. Yeah. Yeah. See, they're gonna have like one card in hand or something. I think we just let them have the next one. Oh, they're gonna scoop to that. Okay. Weird. Because we were gonna bounce this to their hand, not exile it. But I think we just let them have this, right? And then we have another Divide by Zero if they try to copy it again. But they have resigned. All right. We just need a little win streak for top 100. Like 2 games in a row should do it. So let's get this one from Stinky Trousers in your Teferi avatar. Stinky Trousers? Sounds like somebody who would be playing some trashy aggro. So let's go with this hand. It's good against aggro. If this is the 3rd control deck we've played in a row, then at least we have the Celestis and Jacob to do some work. This might actually be too slow against aggro because we're 1 Elite Spellbinder away from never casting this. So maybe I'm overvaluing it. Oh, your go. Come on, just play. Third control deck in a row, huh? I mean, if we ever draw Hullbreaker Horror, I am cursed. When I hit record, I do not draw the card. Ooh. No, you're not letting it live. No, you wouldn't. Okay. Well, we've already got him down to 4 cards in hand. We're on a roll. Ramp it up. You copycat. Okay. Do we divide this? There was no stick there. If the opponent has to play it again, whatever. It's not a good reason. They'll have bigger things to fry, bigger fish to fry. They're trying to decide what to divide by 0. It's hurting their head. Doomscar, huh? Okay, we'll just play another one. Let's chill. I'm sure we'll find land eventually. Leer. 2 mana open. What's in the graveyard? Just a Fading Hope? They might try to Fading Hope this, in which case we can kill the Leer. So if they Fading Hope their Leer, then they can't stop the Jacob from flipping. Which maybe they want that, but they probably don't have Epiphany set up right now. They had another one. Okay. Whatever. They gotta be running low on the good stuff, right? We might have a Jwari there for that stick. They already used a Doomscar. Getting a free mascot exhibition would be nice. I feel like this game is more about cards though, but I don't know. I'm at a point where this might flip. Okay. We got 7. Yeah, the opponent might take a lot of turns. But I think we go for this anyway. Hopefully this card isn't Galvanic Iteration. And they don't draw an untapped land. Like, they need to do a lot of things perfectly to get to like, kill me here. They can get ahead, but they probably can't straight up kill me. And then they still have to deal with a board, and the Insight's free spells can try to get us back into the game. No, I'm trying here. I can't draw Hullbreaker Horror in these matchups. It's impossible. Doesn't matter what I do. Sure. Doomscar achieved. So that was their Foretold card. And they're looting. Well, that loots me too. Aw. Can I has card? Okay, our Leer, nice. Free card is Consider. Come on, Horror. There we go. We got there. All right, so right now we can play Horror and still have a mana up to use Fading Hope to bounce a spell. We can also Jwari something. We can also just get this in play, make the opponent have Doomscar. Let's just say go. Make them make the first move. Go ahead with that. We finally found you. You're done being shy. Opponent might go ahead and find a Divide by Zero. Ooh, they take a Fading Hope, so they're expecting this Horror. Do we play this? They cast the Fading Hope from exile. This just bounces. Yeah. Did they cast a spell? They cast one spell. So we could get a free Celestis trigger by making them Fade Hope here. They would get one too. I think they're better for us right now, though. We can fade our own thing and bounce their Celestis too. Whoa, that's what they're dividing? Okay. Coward. Start from scratch for my Celestis, sure. Alright, I get my loop trigger. Do we give up on Jacob? Are you done, buddy? We want this for that. Yeah, you've done enough. Ah, something I'd loot for sure. Alright, get this on the field. Their own Celestis, sure. Something to bounce when we use either the Grasp or the Jwari. Start from scratch. Interesting, actually. Send it away. Lear? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now we're cooking with gas. Did you like your spells? Because you're never getting another one to resolve. A Hellkite. Boing. Well, they've decided to stick it out. They must be enjoying their beating. When the horror does show up, oh, it's horrible. Yeah, I know. Bad jokes. Gotta fill the space with something. Can't be countered, but can be bounced. Nice 5-mana spell. Hullbreaker Horror really likes those. Those trousers just got stinkier. Ooh, somebody who's in the top 100, where we want to be on the play. Let's go. It's a showdown. Oh, they play mono white? What a warrior. Let's bin this. It's not the best against mono white. It's a little slow, and we'd love a 2-mana play. We're not going to get one. That's rude. That's not good. Redain and we're out of here. Or Elite Spellbinder. Easy money. Ah, Brutal Cathar, okay. Alright, gotta ramp into this 6-mana Shadows Verdict. Don't use Skyclave Apparition that. You already showed me a Brutal Cathar. You don't play Skyclave. Oh, we're not done yet. We're not done yet, but I'm getting angry. Look at the flood. Look at the flood. God, Thalia's a brutal creature, huh? Go big or go home. They might have another Thalia, which would be absolutely painful, but we're ready to pay for it. Down to 7. How do we pull this off? They are thinking about not playing anything. How much of a read do they have on Shadow's Verdict? A pretty good read is what they've got. Didn't attack first. I'm a wimp that way. Good lord. Good lord. Read me like a book. Look at the lands, though. The lands we've drawn are sickening. Absolutely sickening. I should have just looted with the divide, I think. I totally choked. I am a choker. Alright, can they finish the job? They've got 5 damage. They didn't manage to put lethal on the field. Why did I bin this divide? Oh, that's lethal, so... Don't know what they're thinking about! Frickin'... I hate mono white so much. We'll try it. We'll try it. Mono white again? Rough. Rough. Not a sweeper in sight, but they make no plays for 2 turns. What the heck does that mean? Let's draw that. Gonna need all the land we can get here. I know I flooded last time, but this time we actually have cards to play. Next time we actually drew expensive cards to go with 1,000,000 mana. So, yeah, I'm salty. I'm gonna stay salty. They must have a lot of elite spellbinders in their hand. If they take the Celestis, they have more spellbinders. Yep. Good lord. And the flood begins. So how many do you think the shuffler gave them? 3 or 4? That's the real question now. It's definitely not 2. They're not done. I hate my life. I hate my life right now. Fuck. 2 miserable, miserable games in a row of getting taxed and to oblivion and flooding to oblivion. There's nothing like drawing all lands and still not being able to cast your spells because they cost even more than that. I am seething. I am seething. So come on, mono white, let's go. Shambling Ghast, great. You're gonna get the full extent of my rage. Kill it now. Don't let him counter it or mess with me. Okay, I think we just bounced that. Is that right? They're probably going to play out some better stuff, and we need to stall pretty bad. But we do need to spend them to spend mana. We got to force them to spend mana. We can't let them become the tempo deck. So if they have no board presence, they have to spend their mana into creating one. They don't get to hold up Overcharged Amalgam. So hopefully we'll get to Shadow's Verdict aboard. Oh, they're finding the line. The line is being found. Will they sacrifice and draw, or will they keep the board presence? All right, so now we've got a clue to what they want to do. So let's keep setting it back. It's expensive, make them pay. They could sacrifice it now, yeah. Yeah, I guess I like that, because now they know they're playing into a Verdict, potentially. My plays make a lot more sense if I have a Verdict. Pretty smart. But let's see if they play more zombies. Alright, we've entered into the tempo game. Can play around it a little. We can put this on the field and then use instant speed removal with Grasp. You know they're going to try to kill this. One good grasp deserves another. So they're back to trying to build a board, but still have mana for Overcharged Amalgam. Okay, they make a 2/2. And they sting it. So much card advantage, it's gross. It's absolutely gross. Alright, they fall to 12. They have another zombie to play for me? No, not today? Okay. Make them rebuild again. Looking for a Fading Hope for my Leer. I would really like to get a lot of value when I play Leer, because Leer probably gonna die or get countered. The Rider. Anybody else want to play? You know they have Overcharged Amalgam, and they're like, I really want to hold up Overcharged Amalgam, and I'm like, all right. If they do pass with 4 mana open, we really, really, really need to draw another instant speed removal spell. Fading Hope would be great. Probably the best draw in our deck. Hull Breacher Horror is close, but still a turn away from actively being useful, and probably runs into Infernal Grasp if we're being honest. They're going to deploy the Meat Hook. Okay. Priority check? Okay. We could play Leer here and use the removal spell on the Rider. I don't love that, though. I think I want to do this. I want to find another answer. I just can't seem to do it. Okay. This is getting really bad. That's too many lands. And a useless second copy of Lear. Yeah, they're really happy with their overcharge amalgam now. Let's go for Jacob. Maybe they counter it. Oh, they don't. They don't have a counter. Okay. Okay, they don't have an overcharge amalgam. I'm being too cautious. Classic CGB. That's what happens, though. Well, our next Lear is going to be real good if we don't get forced to discard it. We're going to be managing a low life total, a hook, and we have 2 Infernal Grasps. And they're going to hook for 5. Bin. We'll cast it from the graveyard soon. There's a Fading Hope. Eight life. It's so scary. Lear's back. Divide, Consider, Fading Hope, all available. Come on, Lear. Bring this one home for me. Show these zombies who's boss. They're just some walking corpses. You got this. You're a wizard. You're a wizard, Leary. End step, Consider. Throw that in the bin. Okay. Let's gain some life. Up to 10. Just try not to get burnt out. Classic content creator struggle right there. Our opponent flooding out. We've got the ball. It's time to run with it. That's a very painful Infernal Grasp. Not powering up the Hall. I think I'd rather just leave up the Divides and do all the card advantage I can. Another land. My god, how many have they drawn? 12? The Shuffler gifted us this game. Sometimes that's what it takes. That's a good little life source. We'll just have that in our hand in case something happens to this one. Unlikely, but possible. Hoo. Okay, another land. Don't need it. Continue the beats. Alright, opponent, you have something sneaky here. Ebon Death. Okay. Bouncing it, they just play it again. So we want to do this on their turn for sure. More life. Just gain life. Against Hook, we don't need a bunch of mascots to win, just enough life to not die. 13 land, spoopy. Sure. Whole Breacher Horror, where art thou? We're trying. We're digging. It's so shy when I play these decks. It's the shyest epic monster creature you've ever seen. It's nighttime. Let's flip. 22 cards left in the deck. All 3 horrors. I'm telling you. No card hides from me like horror does. I think we can go ahead and use a grasp here. Our life total is high enough, and we're going to sciences next turn. Got this rider. Sure. Can exile that with a verdict. I'm just getting the land out, keeping the Celestis turn, keeping the life total high, drop them to 2, miss lethal with the haul, because I often forget it's a haul. No big deal. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I just wanted to see if my opponent could get their 14th land, the true turning point of the game. Aw, they're a good sport. I mean, when you get that flooded, are you a good sport? I'm not. I also wanted to give horror a chance to play. It just refuses to come out and play.